Rose and Nessa Ethington told the child's mother, who they share custody with, that they were going on a camping trip to Calgary, Alberta. They never made it to the reserved campsite. When the child's mother couldn't get in contact with her ex-husband, she alerted Logan police.
It is a gross act of evil. We need to start treating this exactly for what it is. It is child abuse.
Yeah.
There are no transgender children. Remember how we talked about this last week? You need to really, I get it. Donald Trump is imprudent with his words. But we've noticed for sure a pattern throughout both terms, that his words sometimes are a little bit more harsh or they're a little bit more hyperbolic than the policy. Sometimes they don't reflect his policy at all because he shoots from the hip. That can be both a good thing and a bad thing. We weren't thrilled about his post on Truth Social where he talked about gender transition surgery unless the parents approve, and people didn't understand what that meant. It was really badly worded. Then he removed it. But then if you look at the policy, executive order, which people will say can be undone, there are only two genders. That's the policy. And children cannot be mutilated. We had a government, we had an administration, Joe Biden, who said it was an act of evil for parents to not take part in the transition and mutilation of children. We now have a president who says it's going to be illegal to the best of our ability. And we've seen 27 states pass laws against it, including Utah, which brings us to this next story that is going to upset you, but it does have at least a semi-happy ending because even the commies don't want transing kids.
As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
This morning I signed a declaration. Sex-rejecting procedures are neither safe nor effective treatment for children with gender dysphoria.
Sex-rejecting.
These procedures fail to meet professionally recognized standards of care. Medical professionals or entities providing sex-rejecting procedures to children are out of compliance with these standards of health care.
President Trump Tuesday also signed an executive order to restrict gender transitions for minors. The order seeks to end federal support for medical procedures aimed at altering sex or gender, including surgery or use of puberty blockers or sex hormones.
And by the way, isn't that funny? The left doesn't even know where to use it, so they often just use both. Sex or gender? No, it's got to be one or the other, doesn't it? Doesn't it? The whole basis of transgender, it's rabidly anti-science. Like, well, gender and sex are different. Yeah, but it's not, though. When you talk about identification, depending on whether it's a passport or a driver's license, very often you're trying to change your sex. And sex-rejecting surgery is something that you necessarily want in order to live out what you say is gender, which is separate. So whenever they report on it, just for legal liability purposes, because it is unclear by design, they used to be interchangeable, they go sex or gender. Ah, the premise was that they were different. They're not. It was always a lie, and they were always coming for your kids. So here's one Utah couple who thought that they could get away with it if they tried to hide the child abuse.
Rose and Nessa Ethington told the child's mother, who they share custody with, that they were going on a camping trip to Calgary, Alberta. The group totaled 4 people: Rose, their spouse Blue, Blue's biological child, and the 10-year-old. They never made it to the reserved campsite. According to charging documents, they left Cache County, traveled to Washington State, crossed the border into Vancouver, then flew to Merida, Mexico, and finally landed in Havana, Cuba. When the child's mother couldn't get in contact with her ex-husband, she alerted Logan police.
Now, before I go on with the story, I could tell you how this was going to end, because this is one of those funny things, the drum circle hippies who say that communism works in theory. Don't ever tell them to look up the history of communism. They almost always kill the gays. Because at a certain point when you seize the means of production and distribution, right, you actually need, you don't need poets. You need people to be hyperly productive or the system doesn't work. And you also need to have a replacement birth rate, and gays don't really contribute to that. You know, for the same reason that in a post-apocalyptic scenario, lesbians would be the first to go. So the boy's father, Rose, you starting to get the picture?
Yeah.
Rose Inessa Ethington, who claims to be a trans woman, well, him and his wife face a count now of international parental kidnapping.
Jeez.
And here's the thing, like, they didn't even try and hide, like, they're not good criminals, which is, I mean, what you would expect from a mentally deranged trans father who calls himself Rose. They actually found, meaning the authorities, a to-do list in Rose's home, which included, quote, learn Spanish, get haircuts, empty bank account.
Oh, come on.
Also learn to shoot up a school. That was in there. Yeah, that was in there. To-do list.
Well, you got to assimilate to your new culture.
It's like a list. Hey, cops, I want to make it really easy to find me.
Yeah,
Would bunch of Spanish be like a
Cuba
long-term
travel brochures.
It's like a long-term project, learn Spanish. You'd have to put that down like 6 months before.
Yeah. So the dad, of course, and this, I believe it was a stepmom, and I believe there was a previous biological, all of them support transitioning the children. Now, what you are often told with these stories is support, 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 support. Just like gender affirming. No, let's change that RFK use. I think that's the first time it was used publicly. He used it. Let's make that popular. Sex rejection surgery procedures. Sex rejection procedures. Affirm, right? Support. Many of these cases, they're actually being coerced. And I don't know if you know this, it's really easy to manipulate children.
Yeah.
I know that you do know that. That's why we have a problem with Drag Queen Story Hour. That's why those in the trans community say, oh, no, it's just we're allowing them to be free. We don't allow kids to be free in any other facet of decision making. For some reason, when it applies to reproductive health and a gross lack of understanding therein, all of a sudden kids should be able to make their own decisions. The boy's uncle said that he would have supported the transition if it was the boy's idea, but according to the New York Times said, this seemed to be clearly all coming from Rose, the dad, Rose.
Yeah.
It was heartbreaking and hard for me to see.
Yeah, well, of course it's coming from the dad. How many kids want to be like their dad when they grow up? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, it's a natural thing. If the dad's in the picture, the kid wants to, like my son, he wants to be a comedian, which is dumb. And at one point in my life, I wanted to be an asshole. We all want to be like our dad. I'm kidding, Dad. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Watch it sometime. I'm just joking.
No, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And so this is someone who likely is leftist, woke, would have supported the transition, so I already don't like him.
Right.
But even he said this wasn't the kid's idea. Most of the time, we don't have an uncle like this. Most of the time, we just have the parent saying, I knew. Usually a mom. Let's be clear. Usually a mom. And by the way, in this case, you have the mom's stepmom who support it, and then a dad who claims to. You got three women in the mix. That kid's getting trans, just to be clear.
It's just going to happen.
Women are far more likely to be supportive of it. And this is a problem that we see. We've seen many custody cases where the mom says that the child should transition. The father tries to get custody. He's blocked from doing so. It is a gross act of evil. We need to start treating this exactly for what it is. It is child abuse.
Yeah.
There are no transgender children. I'll just say this, transgender, there are no actual transgender people. There are transvestites and there are transsexuals, meaning they can present because they've gone through a surgery. You have not changed your biology. It's not a thing. I won't go along with it being a thing. And when you start applying it to children, it's a crime. That's my view. It's a crime.
Easy.
Yeah, just because you inject yourself with something doesn't make you that. Like, I can inject steroids, doesn't make me a baseball player.
Right.
Know?
Yeah. But sometimes it does.
Hey! Give me your wallet, now!
I don't have a wallet.
What do you mean you don't have a wallet?
I don't need one.
Yeah, well, what about your driver's license?
I don't have one of those either.
You can't get a driver's license?
No, I can get one. I just don't like the bureaucracy. I don't like standing in lines.
You sound like a liar, which is like one of the worst things to be, even worse than a thief. Are you a liar? How do you pay for things, liar?
I use Rumble Wallet.
What's Rumble Wallet? Some kind of vibrating sack of cash?
No, it's a place where I can manage my crypto in one spot. It's as easy as money.
Well, then give me that!
I can't. It's encrypted.
Yeah? Well, how about I stab you until you give me the encryption, huh?
Go to wallet.rumble.com to download the Rumble Wallet today. No banks, no fees, no middlemen, just your money and now your crypto in one secure, easy-to-use place. Get started today.
Yeah. Hey, no, they were already baseball players, and they just made themselves better.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it just made them a lot better.
Mark McGuire.
So Inessa Ethington had a GoFundMe to help keep custody of the boy and raised $9,700 of the $20,000 goal. Come on, let's be honest. You really wonder how much you want? We don't have the numbers.
Yeah.
Look at the demographics at that GoFundMe.
Of course.
Guarantee you it's entirely women.
Yeah. what does that money go to? You can't buy the kid. What is he going to buy the kid from the mom? What?
I assume it's for legal fees, and the boy's mother gave up custody of the son upon returning to the U.S. The mother believed that the dad and son...
She was given.
Oh, sorry, she was given,
Yeah.
sorry. The mother believed that the father and the son would not return, and then apparently the trans issues were a pretty big factor in this divorce. But here's the thing. If we want to deal with this too, the root issue, of course we have the laws. Great. 2 genders. Okay. You can't transition kids. All right. I would like to see federal authority exercised here. No, states, you're not allowed to do it. You're not allowed to do it. Treat it as the crime that it is.
Yeah.
Zero tolerance for this. But practically speaking, we also maybe need to look at the custody laws in this country. Because women, single mothers, are far more likely to be supportive of this. Single mother households, by the way, also far more likely to commit abuse, physical and emotional, of children. And if you look at this transitioning issue, the trans issue, it has been spearheaded by women at their own cost, and it has been opposed by men. So if you look at support for transitioning kids, it's almost half for women, 46%. With men, it's under 40, about 38.
It's still too high. Jeez.
Yeah. Then you have mothers far more likely to accept their children as trans than fathers. It's still way too high for fathers. Then you also have trans individuals saying they have a more positive perception of their mother than their father by 10 points. Across the board, women supported trans men in sports. Why? Because most women don't play sports. They supported changing identification on driver's licenses. They supported men, biological men, in women's spaces. And if a woman speaks out against it, they are a TERF. Men have overwhelmingly, of all races, demographics, been opposed to it. We see this far more often with single mother households. And that needs to be taken into account when we're talking about the well-being of the child.
Yeah.
Here's the silver lining, though. And I want to, you can read this from the New York Times. We provide the references for those who are new. 11 a.m., we stream every weekday. This is a rare instance of Cuba and the United States actually cooperating. So the Cuban authorities immediately alerted us. They went to Cuba and they were like, look, I know that lines of communication have been a little bit cold, but they're bringing trans kids here, so you probably want them back.
Get these freak shows out of here.
Yeah, they called.
Oh, hey, amigo,
Yeah.
we have a freak here for you.
Yes.
They say they want to
Come and get your freak.
Hey, they say they can make a girl a boy, so we send them back to you.
We have no more room for freak here. Afuera.
And this is something that a lot of people, communists generally are very anti-LGBTQ AIP, just to be clear. Why? Because they view it as degeneracy and they want to control over society. So Che Guevara was very publicly homophobic. When you wear that shirt, maybe we should circulate that, because people get mad when you make fun of Che, who killed people. He also killed black people just for being black, the indolent Negroes, as he called them, and that doesn't seem to be enough for the left. Just tell people, I don't know if you know this, Che Guevara was like, he put them in forced labor camps, and he referred to all gays as, quote, sexual perverts.
Hey, he wasn't wrong on everything.
And they don't allow trans surgery for minors in Cuba.
They don't.
They don't allow it. Like, no, you have to love your penis. You can't. You don't cut off and they make the hole. This never work.
It does bring up a bigger conversation, though, and I don't know if you guys saw this just the other day. There were a couple of videos going around of 2 dads and a child crying because the dad goes, the kid said, "Mama." It's
lacking context.
It is lacking context. That's fine. No, that can happen. But it brings up this idea: why the hell are we doing this? Like, why is it legal to do these kinds of things? 2 children, right? So 2 moms, 2 dads, surrogacy to get 2 gay guys, a male child. Predominantly, they want male children over female children. Like, why are we allowing these kinds of things to happen? And it goes back to your point. Like, there does need to be some federal law put in place, because whether or not they are, super pro-trans or anything else, you do want to be like your parents. You do want to grow up like that. And do we think that is good for society? No.
Right.
The majority of Americans don't think that's good for society.
And I get why people are upset, because it breaks your heart. You have a little baby saying mama and them laughing. And I don't know the exact context of the video, but I understand why people are upset. And I don't think that they should have that child anyway. That's been my opinion for a very long time. But here's the flip side of that. We've already done that societally with Dada. We've done it with Dada. Daddy's not here. Why? Because the government has said that fathers should see them on weekends. And if you go and watch Friends, she actually shoved aside the biological father to the child who wanted to be involved, and everyone championed her as a brave single mom by choice. We've done that societally. So Dada, he's not here. No one acts like that's a tragedy. And when I say no one, I know that many of you do, but societally, it's brave. And it's a bold decision. You have your kid when you want. People grossly underestimate the impact that the sitcom Friends had and that story arc of Rachel choosing to be a single mother. And everyone, if you spoke out against it, it was sexist. You're like, that's not a good thing.
No. Wait, are you pro Ross?
Oh,
wow. Really? You're on Ross's side?
Yes. Wow. And I don't even like him.
How dare you?
I'm pro fathers being in the life. I'm pro children having a fair shake. And I get it. People get tough breaks. Kids do. There's a huge difference between something that is an unforeseen circumstance, an engineering society with a baked-in acceptability of a child not having a mother or a father. And yes, that applies to same-sex couples having children. Doesn't mean that there aren't some same-sex couples who are better parents than alcoholic heterosexual couples. It's not lost on me. It's how do you want to design society?
Yeah, exactly.
And Gerald, you said, how are we letting this happen? How could we allow this? It's fear.
Yeah.
It's fear of a couple things. Fear from the politicians of not getting elected again, losing their office, losing their job, losing their money, losing their sweet benefits. And it's fear of the violent left.
Yeah.
They're a mob, dude.
Yep. Absolutely right. And it's fear of, it's fear of offending people. It's fear of the Republicans of, we won't have a big tent. Look, whether it was Dave Rubin or when I spoke with Jillian, they know where I line up. I said, Dave was like, oh, I know, you're like me, you're a libertarian. I said, no, I'm against gay marriage. I always have been. And I don't think that, I think that gays adopting or having should be right down the list with like single parents. It should go to mother and father households first, and there are plenty of them who want kids. I think it's less ideal if we have a surplus of children who need homes and we'll put them wherever we can. Sure, okay at that point if you're well adjusted, but I think first right of refusal goes to mommy and daddy households. I've never changed my opinion. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, you can click around and watch one of these videos on YouTube, or head on over to Rumble and subscribe, where I am live every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Live on Rumble. YouTube is dead. Rumble did it. And on Rumble, you can say